And good morning. You're listening to WJOB AM 1230 and 104.7 FM. This is the City of East Chicago show. I'm Verlie Suggs, the host of the show, and I have with me my special guest, Ms. Carla Morgan, the corporate counsel for the City of East Chicago. Good morning. And Steve Segura. He is the director of Multimedia for the City of East Chicago. So it's great to have you both with us. Steve's a regular, but Carla, this is the first time.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm very glad to be here.
Well, I've known you for many, many years, but for our listeners who don't know you, tell us a little bit about you, because you know you are an East Chicago girl.
Yeah, I'm born and raised in the Harbor. I graduated Washington High School. I was the last class.
We're going to put your mic a little in front of your mouth there.
Okay. I was saying I'm a Harbor girl, born and raised. I graduated from Washington High School. I was the last class from Washington High School. I graduated Notre Dame for undergrad, went to Valpo for law, and I've been working with the city since Mayor Copeland became mayor, and just very honored and proud that he had the confidence in me to make me corporation counsel.
Well, he didn't have a choice. You are the best.
Thank you for
and the mayor likes the best. You know, that's why Steve is here. You know, he likes the best. So we understand. You know, you left for a little bit and then you came back, and now you're just like over everything.
Well, I was never far gone.
I know you were doing some contract work
and doing other things with the city. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm back in full force, and very proud of what the city's accomplished over these years.
It's been amazing.
Yeah, if you look, Steve has pictures of where we were when we started in 2010, and to where we are now, the new developments. We're all very proud of those things.
Most definitely.
Team effort.
Absolutely.
Well, one of the newest developments that's really cute is the zoo back at Washington Park.
Oh, yeah.
You just can't feed the animals.
No, not this time. That's for sure. You know what? That was a surprise project. You know, I was walking or driving by Washington Park, and I saw them already with these big cranes, and they were dropping these giant animals in right by the pool, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot this is coming, you know. So we went out there and took some pictures, and took some pictures at night, and now it's fully installed. I think they might do one or two little things more to it to just enhance it, but I can't wait till it's actually green around the sculptures, because right now I'll just see a snow, so it kind of doesn't give you that real zoo-y feeling.
Oh, no, elephants are normally not in the snow, right?
Snow. But once the Corten steel starts turning orange, it's going to look real beautiful, and there used to be a zoo back at Washington Park decades ago. It was even before my time.
Oh, definitely. It was early 1900s.
Parents and grandparents told stories about how there was a zoo there, and they go see the lion and other animals there. So it's amazing that Chicago had those amenities, and now we're getting back to where we have.
I actually asked them, can they bring a real zoo back?
Oh, okay. Ask Michigan City how much work that is, right?
I know.
They have to actually put their animals into hibernation during the winter.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you know, where you can't just go to the zoo. They have to keep them warm. So the zoo is a great thing. The tree sculptures are beautiful, and Washington Park is a destination.
Yes. There's a walking path now. The greenhouse got all kinds of enhancements. They built a patio behind the greenhouse, so they can have like functions in the back now. So it's I think it got like $500,000 worth of renovations in the inside. They put a brand new fountain in there, and of course our aquaponics are still there. We're selling herbs to local restaurants, all organically grown.
Fantastic.
So it's such a tranquil place to go. And a lot of people kind of don't know too much about it, but we encourage, if you're a teacher or just want to go and check out the greenhouse, call the park department at 391-8474 and make an appointment and take a little tour of the area. We also have like senior citizens come through, and they'll do little tours and show you all about, feeding the fishes, because the fish are the nutrients for the aquaponics.
Right.
So it's like a whole ecosystem that's pretty neat.
So the only thing they need right now is a little pop-up coffee shop. Coffee kiosk right there.
They have kind of discussed something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe, we'll have that in the very near future, but it's quite a nice spot.
If families want to go, what hours can they go?
I believe they can go during normal work hours, which is 8:30. I think they're open at 7:30 to like 4:30. or so like that. And I think
Fantastic.
they may be open on the weekends too. So.
Great. So, Carla, what's going on in the East Chicago world? You're there, and of course, there are a lot of reasons why East Chicago's in the news, but they're usually good reasons.
Yeah, normally good reasons. Well, there's so many projects, almost too many to name. One great project is the mixed-use building. It's condos and commercial use, the Fitzsimmons building at 138th and Main Street.
Yes.
They're having
Many people remember it's named after Fitzsimmons because it was the furniture store there for many years.
Exactly.
A lot of people bought their French provincial furniture at that shop.
Exactly. Now, we wanted to save that building, the original building, but couldn't. It was too far gone. But what we have now is condos that you wouldn't, when you walk through, it's hard to imagine that you're in East Chicago. You think you're on the Gold Coast downtown. They're
Wow.
really high quality.
Now, are we allowed to say what they're going for, or they just have to contact the real estate office?
Contact the real estate office.
Okay.
But they're affordable, especially for what you get.
Really?
And plus, I mean, I don't know if they qualify for the
They
homeowners
do.
program.
They do.
Well, there you go.
So,
you get $25,000.
Right, you get $25,000 as a down payment for any of those units, and then you get an additional $15,000 credit where you can pick your finishes and your fixtures and your
Really?
floors. Yeah.
Wow.
Or you can either pick from what we have to offer, or you can use that $15,000 to go get your own.
That's amazing.
That
Yeah.
is
So
amazing. What an incentive.
Yeah, so it's essentially the city is giving you $40,000 to, not have to worry about how much of a down payment you have that's going to cover you for a down payment, and then you get to, make it your own.
So is it mainly geared to seniors who want to get out of their existing homes, or is it for the millennials who are looking for a place and an easy commute to Chicago? What's it?
This development's for anyone. There's no restrictions on who can live there. I do know there's a lot of interest in it, so if people want to be in the area, they need to move fast.
Okay.
Yeah, space is limited.
Yeah.
Really?
And
How many condos are actually in the project?
I believe it's.
not sure.
I believe it's 8.
Is it?
Yeah. I think
So are there going to be other phases? So if this is really successful, that they're able to expand out?
Well, we
or
had
over?
a open house last weekend, and the realtors asked me, "So when are you building the next building?" Like they
Okay.
had enough interest that they want to sell the next phase. So we have some additional developments, similar quality coming along Broadway, and we're doing more things in that area. So
And people don't realize that real estate in East Chicago, I think we're the #1 market in Northwest Indiana. So properties are selling like this. So we're right now at a good time to invest in East Chicago. It's good. We've invested on our end with infrastructure and amenities.
crime rate going down.
Crime rate going down. Now it's time. The ground floor has been laid. Now it's time for move-in ready. It's time to invest.
Well, here East Chicago has the proximity to the lake. You have the major highways.
You have the biggest
You're
South Shore station.
20 minutes from Chicago or less, depending on how fast you're driving. But Klein Avenue is going to be finished, hopefully,
Yes.
by this summer or fall. So a lot of incentives to want to move into East Chicago. Are there any thoughts of building condos along the lake?
you know what? We haven't. There's been a little discussion, but haven't moved forward. We're still doing things with our old and new water filtration plant and that kind of thing. So perhaps in the future, there is some real estate there that we could build on. But right now, we're focusing on the Main Street Broadway corridor. Mm-hmm. And then one thing I want to say about how things have turned around with the real estate in Chicago, the down payment assistance that Mayor Copeland put in.
Now I'm going to ask you to look at the camera, just because
I'm
people
sorry.
don't want to see
You know,
your
I want-
profile the
I
whole
wanna look
time.
at
Yeah,
Beautiful Verlie. I love Verlie. I miss Verlie.
Oh, I love you too, Carla.
But so the year before we put that incentive in, only one house had sold in East Chicago. So
Wow.
with the things that we're doing and the down payment assistance, it got the market going. And now houses don't stay on the market for any amount of time in East Chicago. If we see something, you basically need to make an offer because they don't last on the market.
Now, what about the area by St. Catherine's Hospital? I know there was some land still in that. Are they building on some of that vacant land?
There was vacant land, like we called it the Prairie. Mm-hmm. It's still vacant. I know they have expressed interest.
Yeah,
in doing something.
there's going to be new homes back there.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
great.
development is, and they're going to be nice upscale homes. So, and you're minutes from the South Shore station, you're minutes from both 8094 and the toll road. So it's a great location, and we're to the extent that we can, we're upscaling the quality of housing that's available in East Chicago.
Fantastic. Well, what else is going on? What besides housing?
We do have our newsletter. If you haven't got it and you're an East Chicago resident, we do have extra copies. You should be getting this new edition any day now in the mail.
Is it so? It's mailed to all the residents
Every month.
Yes.
Every month.
Wow.
Mayor Copeland wants to keep everybody informed and transparent. Of course, this next issue is loaded with census information and our spring cleanup for East Chicago. They want everyone to do their part and team up and clean up. That's a real important thing. I remember Mayor always said, we can live in a city, and it's just because of a certain thing doesn't mean we have to be a dirty city, because cities are naturally kind of grimy. But if we all do our part, at least we can do is keep this little gem that we have clean, Well,
I'm at a point, I just love driving through East Chicago. The beautification projects that have taken place with the flowers and the sculptures, it's just a beautiful place to drive through.
Yeah, I can't wait to put the flowers up again.
I know.
We would get tons of compliments off just that. It just brings such a pleasant feel to the city when you go into the city. They planted trees along Columbus Drive last year. Now they're going to be blooming. The cherry blossoms too, because they're going to be.
It's going to be like going to D.C. for cherry blossoms. And this is great with the newsletter. I remember when the mayor was the president of the NAACP, and Paul Myers did our newsletter. It was real important for him that we had a newsletter to let people know what was going on. And he continues that as the mayor.
The only thing is that as soon as we're done with one issue, we're already scrambling to get the next issue done. So it's like we're always on our toes.
So you have deadlines to meet, and I'm sure lots of things to put, lots of content.
Oh yeah.
We do have a caller. Let's take Dave from Gary. Good morning, Dave. You're on the City of East Chicago show.
Good morning. I have a question. The other day I drove through East Chicago, and I see so many new homes, and there's only so much land. And coming from Highland and now living in Gary doesn't have a land problem, but Highland, they're somewhat landlocked. But every municipality has been struggling with their population leaving, right? What is East Chicago's plans? And it seems like every municipality is just the whole regentrification process, right? Enticing those Illinois people to come over. We're all well aware of the situations that Illinois did to themselves, and there's been a lot of new home starts. People tearing down homes and building new homes in Northwest Indiana, which generally you used to see that in the western suburbs of Chicago. But what do you see in the regentrification process and enticing young people with money, because that's who you want. You want people with money, and you want people to bring kids with them. So what's next on the list? And you guys are what you have. You guys are doing a great job. I was so surprised to see how clean things are too. The streets and all those new homes.
Even the alleys, Dave, are clean in East Chicago.
And it's not just because it's an election year. It's I've noticed it over the last few years that things are. How's I'm just going to cut to the chase. How's the population? Everyone's struggling. How is that, and how's the new home starts?
Okay, thank you, Dave. Appreciate your call.
Coming up.
Sure.
Our population is holding steady, which actually brings up another topic:
the census.
And of course, the people responding to that census when you get it in the mail, or if someone knocks on your door. Well, we have bilingual census takers, so language should not be a problem.
Much necessary in East Chicago.
But what we're doing, so we talked about the new homes coming in Prairie Park. We're going to be doing a lot of infill development, and Mayor Copeland's going to have some really positive announcements soon about infill development. So we've a lot of older homes.
Tell our listeners what infill development means.
Infill is where you take an existing neighborhood and you build new houses among the old houses, and you try to make it blend, but just to provide new housing stock. So this, unfortunately, in the bad old days when a lot of people were losing their houses on tax sale when the taxes skyrocketed, a lot of things were lost to the tax sale. The city has gone through a process over the last 9 years of acquiring those abandoned or tax delinquent properties, and where necessary doing demos where the houses can be saved, we rehab them and try to get them back into private hands. So the new construction that's coming are on a lot of lots that are currently city owned, but we have redevelopment plans around them to build beautiful new houses.
So
in
the
existing
city is actually
neighborhoods.
getting developers to come in and build and then sell,
Absolutely,
or are
yes.
people buying lots and getting their own builders?
At this point, the city is the catalyst that's bring the developers in to sell, to build and then sell to private parties. So that is bringing more development. But as far as gentrification, we're attracting a lot of people who have roots in East Chicago. Now, we welcome folks from anywhere and everywhere. We do have, Chicago people coming in too. But a lot of the interest is from people who, for instance, I was at the open house for the condos. There were two young ladies there, sisters, who they said their mom, they grew up in East Chicago. Their mom really wants them to stay in the area. And so they're looking to, they can afford a beautiful home. So they're looking to stay near home and come back to family. So I don't know if you call it gentrification, where it's people who have, they're from there. They're like Steve's kids.
Oh, no, I have to tell my daughter about this condo. She'd love to get back to East Chicago.
They were so sharp. I told my wife, I says, girl, I think we need to move a couple blocks that way because it's sharp.
But where people like Steve,
and then Carla just bought a home a few years ago, so she's not looking, right?
No, but it was tempting. The pictures don't do it justice. You really have to see it.
Yeah.
But where you've got young folks who growing up in East Chicago and they want to stay near home, but they also want to have a nice lifestyle, we're providing housing stock for folks like that.
And I think that the easiest way we are attracting just anybody is these incentives.
I know.
You can't beat that, $25,000.
It's amazing that anyone, even who works in different departments where they don't have to live in East Chicago, does not want to live in East Chicago with all those incentives.
We've had hundreds of people go through this program already. That's how successful it has been. We just making sure we have enough money to keep it going, and thank God we have with the surpluses that the mayor has been putting aside to make sure we have programs like this still ongoing.
Great. So what else? Well, tell us more. Of course, we always want to know what's going on in East Chicago, and there's always something.
Well, we do have, we're gearing up all our events coming up. One of our first ones is our Cinco de Mayo event happening at the East Chicago Marina, and that is,
right,
of
May
course,
5th is coming up soon.
Yeah, and they'll be having a DJ, mariachi, food. We'll have more information on our website and our Facebook page, ECTV Indiana, and we have a flower show in May coming up, and this is a great, well-attended event. It's on a Friday, May 8th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can start registering as soon as April, the first week of April, April 6th, from 8:30 to 3:30 p.m. And you would just go to the park department at 1615 East 142nd Street. And participation is limited to the first 75 people. So it's first come, first serve. This is a senior event only. You have to be 55 years and older. That means in 5 years I can qualify.
I already qualify.
That's kind of scary.
Carla has a long way to go.
You must have proof of residency. For more information, you can contact the park department at 219-391-8474. Man, I'm going to be a senior in 5 years?
Oh, my goodness. You have a little ways to go. 5 is a long time.
Your senior discount, you can treat me and Verlie.
And I know I'm announced this a little early, but I want people to really take advantage of this event. This is a great event. We just always had some bad weather in the past, and it highlights our golf course. They've done so much good stuff to our golf course. It's beautiful. And that's the Spirits of MacArthur Golf Course. That's it. July 10th, there's going to be a music by this band called BBI. I've seen them play plenty of times at the casino in Michigan City where I used to work on the weekends, and admission is $10. There'll be food, beverages, and it's a great time at the golf course. You can also play golf. You have unlimited golf, and miniature golf, and it's 21 and over, so because there is Spirits at MacArthur.
So are we talking spirits like ghosts?
Yes, yes. We'll have live ghosts there for you.
Just like at the Cinco de Mayo, you can come out and have a margarita. Is that the kind of spirits we're talking about?
Oh, yes. That's
so it's those type of spirits.
Yes.
And then the miniature golf, you can golf or you can enjoy the band while your kids are doing the miniature golf. So it's a lot of fun there.
Yeah.
In fact, for a lot of years, my family was the only one that would go to the miniature golf course. So we'd have a ball there, but, people just don't use it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's there, and it's a lot of fun.
It's a small miniature golf thing, but we also have batting cages there. So it's springtime coming up pretty soon. So if you want to get your bats in, you can go to the batting cages as well.
Okay. Well, let's go back to the phone lines. We have Gabe on line 1. Good morning, Gabe.
Good morning. I'm calling in on behalf of the East Chicago Fire Department with Local 265. Some of my questions I'm concerned about is on this new program, I've heard that this has caused over 1,300 hours of overtime within the first roughly 80 days.
Okay, Gabe. Because this is under litigation, we're not really at liberty to discuss anything regarding the firefighters on this show. I'll let Carla make a statement, but as far as any of your issues, I apologize, but we can't address it on this program. Thank you for your call.
Okay. Verlie, one thing I will say, our fire department is a very integral part of the quality of life in East Chicago, which is why Mayor Copeland continues to extend an olive branch to the firefighters union and invite them to the collective bargaining table to negotiate agreement. Everything is on the table. And we want to work this out with the firefighters union, but they simply have refused to return to the negotiating table. But again, everything is on the table. One issue, though, is that the city, because, we obviously respect the state law, we know we have to do this within the bounds of the meet and confer law. And the proposal from the other side is that we do things that are outside of that. And Mayor Copeland, and definitely, my legal advice is going to always be we have to follow the state law. Mm-hmm. But with that, everything is on the table. We could have all their complaints and concerns addressed already. Mm-hmm. They started negotiations in December. So if they'll simply come to the table and not put preconditions on it and not try to impose conditions that are outside of the bounds of that meet and confer law, this could be settled tomorrow.
Okay, so there you have it. There's a good answer. Firefighters could talk to your union representatives, and let's move forward to keeping East Chicago the best city in the region.
I do have one more event that I
Okay.
forgot to mention. Is our Easter egg hunt, which is coming up shortly, April 4th, very first week of April. That's from 12 to 3 p.m. on a Saturday at Washington Park. That's 142nd and Paris Street. This is for ages 3 to 12, and it's for East Chicago residents only. The rain location will be at the Martin Luther King Center at 4802 Melville Street. You must have ID and proof of residency to participate. If you want more information, you can call the park department again at 219-391-8474. And this is a great event because there's tons of kids at this Easter egg hunt. The only scary part is when the parents try to help them, and you got parents trying to storm in, and we're like, no, stay away. But, it's a great event.
So does this take the place of, like, all the different communities having one? Is this just like everybody come to this one location and partake, or do we still have different ones in different districts?
We used to, but with the manpower, it's harder to have one on one side of town and then another on the other side of town when we have a big park, and it's not that far to travel realistically.
Right. Plus they have free transportation in East Chicago.
And we got new buses.
That's right.
That's right. We got some new buses that are going to be making its way. That's a good lead-in, by the way. So you are going to see these beautiful big new buses that are handicap accessible. They'll have ramps now to pick up the wheelchairs, and they're beautifully, nicely colored. I think they're more eco-friendly too, I believe. So when we have Frank Rosato
come back again,
in the future, he'll tell us a little bit more about it. But
right,
they will be coming
online.
in the next couple of weeks. I believe they have training for these buses coming up. So there'll be a day, if you check our website at www.eastchicago.com, there's a day when they're going to have training and there won't be any bus service coming up.
Oh, okay.
soon.
So people won't have any bus service that
Not
day?
that day.
Okay, so they have to make prior arrangements. Uber is available nowadays, and
Yeah.
so you might have to take advantage of it that day.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely keep our listeners informed, the residents of East Chicago.
And I just want to tell everyone this year, Fusic Fest is going to be amazing. We're working on entertainment now. It's been a challenge, but we are going to bring an amazing time to families. I just want you to save this date. It will be August 7th, 8th, and 9th, and that's at Joros Park Beach near Ameristar Casino. It's a 3-day festival. It's going to be amazing, and I can't wait.
And you have your own band shell now, right?
Yeah, we have a beautiful, beautiful stage at the lakefront now, and it's finally great to see. Last year was killer. It was amazing, and this year the mayor wants to make it bigger and better every year, but hopefully it will be.
Wow. Well, as always, the time goes by really fast. And so, Carla, any final things you want to tell the residents of East Chicago and everyone who's listening to the East Chicago show?
We want to invite East Chicago residents to use the amenities we've discussed, the lakefront, the marina, the parks, take advantage of our events. And we also want to invite former East Chicago residents to come back and see the city. You'll be hopefully pleasantly surprised at all the improvements we've made. And it's just great to see you again.
I want them to move back.
Oh, yeah, we can move back.
Move back to East Chicago. That's
They better
right.
start on phase 2 because those condos are going to go fast.
Yeah, they are.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next month, always on the 4th Friday of the month, here at WJOB AM 1230 and 104.7 FM. Stay tuned. The award-winning Veterans Views show is coming up next. See you next time.